Good evening, everybody. Richard Maud here from VemaTrader, and welcome to another open Q&A session. Today is the Friday, 12th of April, and I'm very excited to show you some of the new features that we've just released recently and some previews of what we've got coming up pretty soon as well. The point of these calls is to just be an open Q&A. So I've got some stuff to show you, but if you've got anything you want to bring up, feel free to unmute yourself, ask questions as we go, or put them in the chat. Hey, whichever works for you. I'd love to hear with you, love to speak with you and find out how I can help you use VemaTrader better. So if no one's got anything they want to have any asked to start off with, I'm going to jump into strategy templates and show you this, because this is the most requested feature we have had since we launched the product over 2 years ago now. Feels really great to say over 2 years ago. And yeah, this is awesome. So here we are on my dashboard screen of a demo account. I'm going to go up to start charting, and I'm going to clear off this chart. And let's go and zoom out on Bitcoin and just do a very rough, super quick analysis on this one. So looking at Bitcoin on the 15-minute chart, I'm going to add a trigger here, and I'm just going to draw an uptrend. Now, what I would want to do for this strategy here is I could either find a bounce to go long, but we're kind of at all-time high. And so I'm thinking this might be an opportunity to go looking for a short. So what I would have to do in the past is go to setups, click on add, choose the direction, choose the strategy, add my conditions, add my everything, and then have to set my multiple take profits. You know, I've got this same setup that I use all the time for these. And so because I know what that is, I can come to setups, add, I can choose my trigger, which one I want it to be, and I can come to my strategy template here. And instead of having to pick everything, I've got one here that is a short. So it already tells me to be used to go direction short, use it on an uptrend. It'll be the cross strategy, and it'll give you 3 take profits. So if I click on that one, and now I don't have to do anything else, Vema goes ahead and adds on the operator and candle close, because I know that I want to use that for my cross. And my trade plan says that I must have an expiry date in all of my trades. So instead of me having to go on and click and add, click and add, click and add, change all the inputs, it's already added it all for me super quickly. So now all I have to do is just go, yeah, cool, take profit down there. Let's move that one up to there. And you look like you're in a pretty good spot already. And now I can drag my expiry date and put it over onto the side. So that's all I have to do. That's my go-to short for when an uptrend breaks. So instead of having to click, 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 I've got the whole thing done basically like that. So now I can just go click on add, and that one is good to go. You know, maybe I should move the stop loss or something, but hey, just demonstrating, and I won't actually use that trade. So what we can do is let's make another one of these strategies. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just to try and find where is a potential support zone that I can use for this. So I'll go to triggers, I'll add on a new trigger, and here looks pretty good. I'll use this as my example. There we go. The reason I've chosen that one is because we can see we had a double top here. When we smashed our way through it, we kind of came back up to it, and along here is where it really wanted to be a fun zone to explore. So that's why I've chosen that spot. I'm now going to go to the setups and add, and we'll scroll over to the left a little bit further. So now I've got 2 triggers, so I need to choose which one I want it to use. Trigger 2. I don't have an existing template for using for this, so I'm going to make one. So I'm going to call this one the long strategy. I'm going to use it for a support, and I'm going to go for, what do you reckon, a bounce strategy and 3 take profits. You can call it whatever you want. It could be called your purple monkey bounce strategy if that's what you wanted. This is entirely up to you to call it whatever you want. So now it says, hey, just double check that name, just so you know you are making a new one here. You didn't make a typo and meant to choose an existing one. So great. So now I'm going to choose here the long strategy. I'll choose the bounce. I know that I must have an expiry date on mine, and I will use a distance to confirm and a distance to invalidate. Now I just throw in some values in here. So 1, 0.1, and let's go 1 as well. And that's too big, so 0.5. There we go. I'm not so much worried about what these figures are, but more just demonstrating the feature right now. So now I can come to my risk management section, and I can use my Vema Smart Stop and add on 2 more take profits, because that's what the strategy template said that it was going to be using, 3 of them. And now let's say that I don't want it to actually be splitting these take profits. So 30%, 30%, 30%. I might want it to be, let's take 25% at the first take profit, 50% at the second take profit, and 25 at the last take profit. And so with that, it's going to remember that I had 3 take profits set up on this strategy template, and it's going to remember what the allocations were for these as well. So making things much faster to set up. My stop loss, because this actually looks like an all right trade, I'll put this somewhere here. The strategy template is not going to remember the price that we've set the stop loss up, just that it says, hey, you had it as a fixed stop loss strategy. So you're still in control of moving it around the place. But I'm going to come into my expiry. See how I can't click add right now? It's because all I did was in the setup area in the top left, I said it should have an expiry date, but it's still not valid because I didn't put it in the future. So I'm just going to move it into the future somewhere, like over here. There we go. So all the strategy template is going to remember is that I have an expiry date, that it must be there, but it doesn't remember where I set it every time. It's still on me for every single trade to drag it into position. So I can click on add. I could go and I should go and journal this trade. Looking like a pretty good support area at around 67,200. That's been used a few times. Cool. I should fill in my high time frame bias is long, and I should press stop recording. You've got to stop talking so it won't keep on adding more text into the box. I'll go long, trading with my high time frame bias. I have got a support level, and does that line up with a fib? So I've actually got my 3 reasons for entry. It does line up with the 61.8, so I can have a fibs level there as well. What pattern am I trading? I'm trading an other, and I have done all my things today, and I've checked for all of my bad habit items. Great. So being a good boy, journaling my trades as we go, I can now add that. So when I now send this trade off, that strategy template has been saved for me. So if I now come up to start charting, and let's switch over to, say, Ethereum, and let's go find a good support area for Ethereum that we can add on a trade. Here looks like a pretty good spot. I will add, and I'm just looking for this little bouncy spot there, and pivot point, I should say, and moving out. The reason I've chosen that spot is because of here and here and here and here and here. Reminds me of the Simpsons episode when Homer cuts himself shaving. Don't worry, the blood will hold it right on here and here and here. Anyway, so now that I've got my support level in zone, I can come to setups, go add. I've already chosen what trigger I want it to be, strategy templates. What do I want to do? A long support bounce with 3 take profits, click it, and the trade plan has been set up. I'll move my stop loss into position, my take profits where I want them to be, and that's all I've got to do. I'd fill out my journal as well, because that's what I should always do every trade. But now I can set up that trade really fast, really, really, really fast. So I do not consider this to be a beginner feature. If you're a beginner, yes, it's wonderful to be able to set things up really, really fast, but you want to know why that is your go-to setup. And that's where your analyze screen would come in really, really handy. So yeah, go ahead and use these strategy templates. They're wonderful. I'll run you through another scenario for how they're really, really handy as well. But if you want to edit them and play with them, oh, you know what? I forgot to add candle close on my bounce strategy. I don't want to have to go to start charting and go to trigger. Let's do the full process here just to show how annoying it could be. Add on the long support bounce with 3 take profits. And I have to remember every time to come and add and operate on candle close. That's going to be annoying. So what you can do is in the top right-hand corner, there's the menu button. Go to My Account. In My Account, go to Customization. In Customization, you've now got, it used to be really, really long to scroll through everything here. So we split them out into General, Custom, and Custom Journal and Strategy Templates. In Strategy Templates, we can see I've got my long support bounce with 3 take profits. I can come and click on the edit on the right-hand side, and that pops it up right here with everything. So I can change the title if I want. That's fine. Oh, whoops, I made a typo in there. Better fix that up. And I can now come and add a condition of operate on candle close and update. So now all of those values are going to be the default ones that are in there. If I scroll down to the risk management section, you can see what fields is actually setting. Hey, it's remembering I had a fixed stop loss. It's remembering to use the smart stop. And it is not setting an actual stop loss value there. So you could add in, oh, for this strategy, this is my go-to ascending triangle strategy. That's my jam, baby. I'm going to go ahead and set that as 3% of account risk. Every other trade should just be 1%. Great. I can come and click on update here. And now that's going to be remembered for me. So I go back to start charting. I'll go to trigger. And I'll go to, I've already got a trigger on there. I'll add a setup. And I'll come and add my long support bounce with 3 take profits. And we can see it is now remembered, hey, you told me that I should now have operate on candle close and that I should be using 3% account risk there. So super quick, super fast to get set up. But it's also saying here, hey, your risk to reward's not correct. So it's not doing any of those checks. Sorry, this is absolutely still doing all of those checks. You can't just add on a template and go add. Whoops, wrong button. Add. You still need to go ahead and actually move your take profits into position. Vemma is arbitrarily putting them on the screen. By no means are we recommending this is where your stop loss should go. This is where your 3 take profits should go. None of that. But just for setting up a trade, holy dooly, this is massively faster and it is so great. I love this thing so much. This is my new favorite feature of MetaTrader. I've wanted it since day one. And so has everybody else. Yes, I'm so glad we finally got it in there. Yeah, I don't want to set up this trade though. That's not a good idea. So I'm going to press cancel on that one and I'll cancel off this one. And I want to show another example of where this could be a good trade to take, another use case of a strategy template. So I'll come up to start charting again. And I don't have somewhere in mind that I could actually do this particular trade. So yes, I do. I've got one right here. Let's pretend that we have a beautiful setup here for trigger. And I'm going to find my uptrend. There we go. So with my uptrend, because I have it here and here and here and here, one of the things I've found in my own trading is that I need to be more verbose in why I've exactly picked a trend. And so now I've just taken to put in the highlighter. Here is exactly why I did what I did. When I come to setups here, I would like to go add. And what I can do with this is I could make one called long bounce uptrend alert. Here we go. We'll add that one. And I'm going to make it a long. It's going to be a bounce. And I want to get alerted when price comes along and touches the trend. I don't need the extra validation of it coming close enough and it's starting to bounce off it. No, I just want to get an alerted, hey, it has hit my trend line, please. No matter where that trend is, it could be flat, it could be up, it could be down, but I've gone for it kind of with a long bounce. Here, I can then take my, what am I looking for? My expiry date, add that on there. I don't need any of the other conditions except for alert only. So when I add that, this tells Vemma only tell me when price gets to the trend line. Tell me when all of the entry conditions are met. So if I did have the distance to confirm of say 0.5%, before the alert would tell me, hey, your entry conditions are met, price would have had to have come down, hit the trigger, and show a good level of buyers coming in. In this case, I don't want that. I just want to get told when price hits the trigger. So I'll get rid of my distance to confirm and move my expiry date into the future a little bit. There we go. So now with this being here, it says when price gets there, just send me an alert. But you know what? It is an uptrend. And so instead of me having to then go and where's my take profit and stop loss going to go? I can have that preset up here. I can go for my stop loss being the other side of trend line by, let's say, 1%. Is it going to be perfect when my alert comes in to say there's a potential trade here? No, but it gives me a pretty good indication of, you know what, that's how far 1% away is. Where's my take profit going to go? Let's see. Let's put one where it is and add another one on. And put it up there. You don't need to add all these take profits and things in for this part. I'm going to do it for the fun of it anyway. Add that there. And now I can come and click on add and submit. That's now created the strategy template that is just an alert with 2 take profits on it. So if I come and do another one, let's go and look at, I have no idea what has another little uptrend we can search for. Cardano, you look pretty similar to this. Let's maybe go to the daily chart, see what we can find. Ooh, lots of drawings on this one. We'll get rid of all of this. And for the sake of example, let's add a trigger here. You know what? I want to go potentially for a long on this uptrend on Cardano, but price isn't at the trigger yet, but I do want to be ready for it. So I'm trading, doesn't matter what time frame you're doing this on. I can go to setups, add trigger one, and then go for my long bounce uptrend alert. And with that, I'm now ready to take this trade. Well, not ready to take the trade. I'm ready to get alerted. And when the alert does come, then I'll be ready pretty quickly to just go, oh, cool, take a trade. So you could just go ahead and get an alert and go, yeah, it's no good. I don't want to take the trade. I didn't like the candle formation to get there. Or maybe you're just looking for price to get here and that's it. And then it falls straight down. Oh, great. That's not a good trade. So you can leave that one alone. But hey, cool. Now I'm ready. So when I do get the alert, I'm going to come to Vemma and it's going to say, look, do you want to take the trade? There's a stop loss and a take profit here. It's up to you to move them if you want to. But if you want to take the trade right now, that's cool too. So I can submit that trade. And now I'll get an alert when price comes and hits the Cardano uptrend. So not full proper alerts, the way that I know that I'd love them to actually be inside of Vemma, but still this is a hell of a lot faster to set up than it was before. And the big part here being, hey, cool, strategy templates, find out what your go-to strategies are, and just make them super quick to action them inside of Vemma Trader. Awesome stuff. Use it with a break and retest across. Or a bounce, use it for alerts, use it for when an uptrend has broken and then been retested. Yeah, use it for a short once support breaks and has been retested to resistance. Whichever way works for you. There's loads of these, loads of strategy templates you can use, and I'm really happy to see a lot of customers already putting them into action. Yeah, so that's that. I'm going to take a quick drink break. Anyone have any questions or anything I can help them out with tonight? Nope. All right, cool. So I'm going to keep on talking about other cool stuff. I was giving a demo of how to analyze your data inside of Emma the other day. And I decided to do it on this account using none of a custom tags, which I'd have plenty of. It was all about let's do an analysis on this account, see what we can find purely using the built-in tags that are already there. Because someone was saying, yeah, I don't really know how to analyze and I don't know what I'm supposed to tag. Well, that's perfectly fine if you don't know where to tag, because Vemma's already doing it for you and will be collecting a hell of a lot of data for you. And I found something that was really, really, really interesting. Hey, cool. Richard loves ascending triangles and he's pretty profitable with ascending triangles. Yeah, 80% win rate. I love them. But what I was stressing to people to do was, yes, look through your losses and click on your losses and see every single loss you've made. Click into them all, have a good look at them and see why you were losing, and add a tag in there to find out what you lost for all of your trades for. Because you'll probably find you're doing the same thing multiple times. Like I have got a bad habit of putting my stop loss too tight. That's why when I go to set up a trade plan and journal, one of the tick boxes is your stop loss too tight? And I've got to make sure it's not too tight. Yeah, but where was the one I was looking for? So when you create a Vimeo account, you get a whole bunch of tags automatically added on for you. And where's the one I was looking for? Here. So one of the ones that comes pre-created for you is trigger setups, which is just looking at how well do you go with the bounce, cross and break and retest. So hey, cool. You've got a 40% win rate overall with those three strategies, and it keeps them separate to your immediate entries, which is you just clicking the enter now button. And what I thought was really interesting about this is that using the trigger setups, I have got a P&L, I've grown the account by 35%, whereas using the immediate entry strategy, just saying take a trade right now, I'd actually only grown the account by 6.2%. I was like, that's really, really weird that there's such a big disparity between these. So I wanted to dig into it a bit more, and I clicked through to the immediate entries, which then brings up every single trade that has been a quick entry trade. Just look through here, the risk reward on the right hand side. See if you can see before I point it out to you. I'm going to put this to show more trades, and we'll scroll down a little further. And there it is right there on the screen. There's a little bit of it right here, but there's even more standout right here. I have got a few wins. I've had plenty of losses. That happens. It's part of the trading game. But if we look here, nearly every single time I have moved the stop loss, I've been stopped out. Moved out, stopped, moved the stop loss up, got stopped out, moved the stop loss up, got stopped out, moved the stop loss up, got stopped out, moved the stop loss up, got stopped out. Oh my God. That's every single time I take an immediate entry, I seem to move my stop loss too early, and then I get stopped out. And I thought that was really, really fun to look at, which I can't remember which of these trades was to go and to be the one that I looked at in the demo. Maybe it was this one. Let's have a look at it. But what I noticed is if I had just left the bloody thing alone, only two of these would have actually hit the actual stop loss. The rest of them all would have gone and actually hit on the multiple take profits, and it would have been quite a rather profitable scenario. So that was eye-opening for me to look at that and go, holy crap, whenever I take an immediate entry, I watch the damn thing like a hawk, and I will follow that stop loss down. And I seem to always be doing it on the lower time frames as well. So I don't know what this trade is. Let's go have a look at it. Be something interesting. Here we go. This is a really good example of it. So we had a downtrend. Downtrend. I had drawn some crazy ass drawings around the place here, but hey, we had the entry. There was the immediate entry. The trade was taken right here. The stop loss was above the downtrend, and when price went down a little lower, I decided it's a good idea to move the stop loss down. And I thought this is that's a one-off thing, but if I look through all of the trades where I'd moved the stop loss on the immediate entries, it happened again and again and again and again and again. Yeah, I just thought that was incredibly interesting to find out that, hey, price is going in my direction and it's an immediate entry, so I'm going to manage the trade too quickly. And if you look at it, if I had just left the stop loss where it was, it would have gone ahead and hit the take profit and hit the second take profit and been much more profitable. So that was just using the base built-in tags in Vemma, nothing else. And I wouldn't have noticed that if I had looked purely at the losses. So the way I analyze my stuff is I look through the losses to find what were the what are the bad habits? What are the common mistakes you're losing your trades for? And usually it's because my stop loss is too tight. But now I had to add another point in there to make sure you're not managing your trade. But if we scroll down here a little further, so this was the immediate entries. You can see here 32 trades and grew the account by 6%. Whereas if I was using the bounce, cross, or break and retest strategies, the ones where I wait for the trade to come to me, I tend to just be hands off and let them play out. And so while only 27 trades there, less than 32, those strategies have grown the account by 35%. So then I decided to break that down further. Let's look at how you go with break and retest and cross and bounce. Now, this is my trading. This is not saying don't use immediate entry. Use whatever works for you, but this is purely just my data. I found that, hey, the bounce strategy, Richard, you've only used it 8 times on this account, but it's grown your account 26%. Like, oh, wow, okay, that's what I should be focusing on, my bounce strategy. I've got a 75% win rate on it. My average risk to reward is a 4.7, and my expected value is 3.32. So that's pretty damn great. That means that anytime I would draw a bounce strategy, if I can spot it correctly and all the same entry conditions are met, then I can expect to grow my account by 3.32% on every single trade. Like, far out. That's amazingly cool information to know. So if you click into this part here and then look at what they all are, every single one is a long except that one. So, all right, Richard, maybe you shouldn't use the bounce strategy with shorts, or you don't have enough data here. You've only got one data point. That's not quite enough. So maybe you should paper trade shorting with the bounce strategy for a while to see if that's something else you're good at. Yeah, anyway, I thought those were super interesting things to point out. And that was just using the base data, the base tags on there, nothing fancy, nothing extra. Yeah, and that was really, really fun to look at. So if you have got a whole bunch of trading data and you're not sure how to analyze it, click on analyze. If you don't have a bunch of cards already set up, please email me, support@vematrader.com, and I can add a whole bunch of them onto your account for you. The same set I've got right here and a few other ones. And then that shall give you a really, really good starting point. Now, if you still look at that data and can't see any patterns, you're not sure what to look for still, feel free to get in touch with me, again, through support@vematrader.com, and say, hey, can I have a one-on-one session to help analyze my data and find me where I'm going wrong, or help me put together a trade plan? I'd be very happy to jump on a call with you and help you explore what's going on. All right, so with all of that said, there is a message from Pradeep in the chat. Sorry, new to VemaTrader. How VemaTrader identifies whether a future trade or a spot trade? This question come in my mind when I connected a BitGet account. Yeah, cool. That's a good question, Pradeep. And the answer is that everything in Vema is currently futures trading. So if you were looking for a BitGet symbol, every single one of them in here is all futures. And that is why you can, let's pick on XRP, for example. Yep, still going in the triangle there. Let's get rid of everything off this chart and go for a direction. That's why you've got both long and short on here. Spot is you're going to buy it and hold it for a lot longer period of time, maybe, unless it just does a rocket ship and goes, hey. Yeah, but futures is what you need to be doing to go short and to bring in leverage trading. So Pradeep, everything inside of Vema is currently focused on futures trading. I hope that answers your question. Now I'm looking at XRP going, hey, maybe there's something fun right here. Look at this. We have a lovely uptrend that's been going on for a while. And if we come down to the 1 hour, do we have something interesting here? I'm now just exploring data, by the way, guys. This is not really a demo of anything. La, la, la. This looks like a spot that I could go. You know what, Richard? You could go ahead and set up 2 trades off this one. You could add a trigger up here and set up a short bounce, because you just look at your data and you only had 1 data point for short bounce. Otherwise, I could also add in another one here and go on the lower time frame. Looks like we could be getting ready for price to say, nah, I'm not getting through that. I'm going to fall back down to the trend line over here, which was the daily trend. So that'd be a good case for me to come to a lower time frame and go add on trigger 3 and go to strategy template, short uptrend cross with 3 take profits. And I'm switching times frames. I'm sorry. I will try to stay still on one for a little bit. There we go. Move a take profit down and a little further down and a little further down. And my expiry date can go right there towards the end of the triangle. There we go. What else do I want to trade on this one? So you can see here, my strategy is already be set to the other side of the trend line, and my percent is 1.8 because I dragged it there. And just in case you're wondering, what's the stop loss strategy of fixed versus other side of trend line? A fixed is your stop loss is at that level, always. That is where your stop loss is. Whereas the other side of trend line says, hey, you've got this trigger here. I'll zoom in on it. Here we go. Where is the entry of this trade going to happen? Is it going to happen here? Is it going to happen here? If it happens, like you get the entry here and it breaks down, your stop loss is going to be ridiculously close to you now. Whereas if the price decided to wait for a while and came up here, and so this was where the entry came along, where your stop loss is now below your entry. And so the other side of trend line stop loss strategy says, I don't know where the entry is actually going to happen on the trend, but wherever it does, let's say it does happen at this point here, then the stop loss should be 1.5% on the other side of that trend line. So it's going to put the stop loss up here for me. So a dynamic stop loss because I've got a dynamic entry. Yeah, and hey, well, what about my position sizing and stuff? Well, remember, Vema automates all of that for you, so you don't have to worry about it. It's always going to use 1% of your account and just recalculate everything at the point of entry, which is wonderful. So this trade looks kind of fun. I'm going to journal it, and just because it's a paper trade, I just want to explore to be able to use a strategy template for everybody. Zooming out. XRP has been on an uptrend for quite a while on the daily time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, looks like we've got a bit of a downtrend going. We've got resistance at roughly 0.64. I think if we break trigger 3 to the downside with a cross and a candle close, I can ride price back down to the daily uptrend. My first take profit can probably come a bit higher. Second take profit can come about there. And reasons for entry is high time frame bias says we're going long. I'm not trading with high time frame bias. That says long. So, oh, I'm counter trend trading. Hey, my trade plan says I shouldn't counter trend trade. All right, I guess I can't take that trade. And that is why we have a trade journal. Anyway, but I'm going to be a bad boy. And so I have market structure. I do have a trend line. I do have a resistance line up there at trigger 2. I'm really forcing this one, aren't I? I've got a descending triangle where I want to take a short. Yes, I got sleep. I ate breakfast. I've worked out. My stop loss is probably too tight. All right, I'll go to my journal. I'll set that to 2. And I'll come back to my journal. Have I looked left far enough where my take profits would be? Yes, yes, and yes on this high time frame. Am I counter trend trading? I am, and I'm fully aware of that. Are you too early to get into this trade? No, I'm waiting for the break of the uptrend. Are you using candle close on cross? I am, and that happens because my strategy template automatically adds it for me. Hooray! And then I can come down to the journal and yeah, cool. Add this trade, submit, and send. I really want to know how this one plays out now. That's going to be fun. I'll share this one into Discord and say, hey, here's some of the trades that we set up in the in tonight's Q&A. Let's see how they play up. Now, I would usually spend a lot longer on analyzing these things before taking entry, but these ones are all being set up as paper trades, so that is fine. All right. Let me check out to the chat. What have we got? Alex. Reese tells me that the tags hour of day and day of week shows the trades that were created at those times, but the tag market session shows the trades that entered at those sessions. Is there any query that can tell me the expected value for trades that entered on a specific day of week at a specific hour or market session? Yeah, I remember seeing the chat about that one after your ticket came in, Alex. That was a really, really fun question for us. The answer to that one, so your question here being, is there any query that can tell me the expected value for trades that entered on a specific day of week at a specific hour? Is, you know what? No, you've made us realize that there isn't a way to do that currently. So how would you need to do that at the moment until we go ahead and add something in there to fix it? So we were talking about, oh, what could we do about that? We could probably make it an option that you can tick which of the two to use, the created time or the entered time. And it sounds like you would very much so like the entered. So if we came to analyze and went and found a trade at some point, let's pick on a lot. Now let's make a win. Make me look good. Where's a win? You look pretty cool. So what we could do here is go into the trade and go, all right, when did you enter? You entered on the 19th of March. This would be a pain in the ass, isn't it? You'd have to go and look up what day of week that was. But you could go ahead and add in a tag of day of week. I'm going to guess that's a Monday. And hour of day, which is 9:09 a.m., whichever works for you. But if I was doing this one, I would say day of week entered and hour of day entered so that it's not getting confused with Vema's day of week and hour of day. Yeah, and then you could add these, go to the journal and add in a tag. And my tag is not quite big enough for this one. So that one, day of week entered Monday and hour of day entered 9. So yeah, so Alex, this would be the way you'd have to do it for now for what you're looking for until we go ahead and address that and make it so that you can choose which one you want it to be. Hope that helps you out, man. Okay, Sandy, is the session recorded so we can watch again as I've missed the first few minutes? Yeah, absolutely, Sandy. These are recorded and will be put up onto YouTube maybe to this evening or / tomorrow morning, depending on how the kids go. All right, so the main thing I wanted to show you tonight was strategy templates, how to set them up and how to use them, which is pretty damn exciting and fast. We've also covered how to a quick session on analyzing your data using the built-in tags. Again, it wasn't fully in depth, but it was, hey, this is something super interesting that I found last week when I was analyzing my stuff for another customer, another demo. So something exciting is happening this Sunday. Yes, this Sunday is the whole Vemma team is getting together, and we're going to plan out what is it that we are going to be tackling over the next few months. These are always fun days because we get to haggle over what we all want to do and what customers want, and there's always fun discussions because really there's like 50,000 things we want to do, and we've got time to do maybe 10 of them, and so the discussions of which one do we all get to do, and yeah. Oh, fun days. So let's see. If you haven't already, go to support.vematrader.com and go to, where is it? Scroll down a little bit to have a feature idea and submit a feature request. A lot of what we do next is really driven by what people are asking for and what they're voting for. Now, we don't always pick the thing with the most votes, unfortunately. Yeah, we do have to throw our own bits and pieces in there. But that is what we will use to generally look for what we're going for. And I can tell you that this one here is most definitely going to be covered. Yay! If it's not going to be a feature that you click on to do it yourself, it'll at least be you can get in touch with us, support at Vemma, and we can extract the data out and email it to you. That is a given that in fact, we could already do that. If you want that, just email me. Yeah, cool. All right. So what we are working on at the moment is, and this is just because I've got another message asking how far are you adding FX pairs into Vemma? Well, this is exciting. We are integrating a new Forex broker and a new prop firm is coming to Vemma Trader in the next couple of weeks. That is testing it next week. So it's a week or two away before we have another Forex broker connected up to Vemma Trader. That'll bring you both the ability to do another prop firm, and will also give you the ability to trade your own capital against Forex as well. So not just using a prop firm, you can ignore the prop firm, go ahead, connect directly to the broker and trade your own capital directly on there as well. Awesome stuff. I can't say who it is just yet. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's nearly there. It's like, I don't swear, Richard. Don't say swear words. Yeah, either way, that's coming very, very soon. The other thing we're working on is big, massive improvements to the Vemma trade plan simulator. And making it a much more, more of an education platform. Someone just sent me a message in private message, so I will reply to that with a wink, and he can interpret that however he wants. So what I'm looking for, the education platform, yes. So this part here is, do I have it open? Am I showing something I shouldn't be if I look at this? I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Let's go education admin. So at the moment, if you come to the simulator, we send out simulations as an own individual link. Hey, here is a simulator to one individual trade plan that you can have a look at. But to run them, one, you've got to click the link. You've got to know what the link is. Two, it doesn't link together in a series, so you can't create like a lesson plan. And you also have to take a trade on them. And so if you're a beginner trader learning from some of our education partners like MTM, MTC, or Empire, then you've only really, you're just learning. You don't want to have to be able to set up a trade to be able to know if what you're putting in is working. So what we're working on for this is I'll go to lesson 2 resistance. That doesn't have anything in it yet. We'll go to course 2. So education providers will soon be able to say, set up a course on, let's say, a course on trends. Then they can say, we'll have a lesson of lesson 1, let's teach uptrends today. Lesson 2, let's teach downtrends today. Maybe a different support resistance and another topic. And now here they can say find the downtrend. Note it doesn't say find the downtrend and set up a trade. It just says find the downtrend. This is the bit where it'll break. This is our test environment, so I can't show you the next part, sorry. But the idea is that there's just a bunch of data there. You can then go and draw in your downtrend, or if did I get the angle the right way? I don't know if it's flipped for you or not. Anyway, so you identify where you believe the downtrend is or the candles are, you press submit, and then it pops up, here's the instructor's chart with your chart right next to it. And so you can just see, crap, I got my homework, I got it correct, or oh no, yeah, okay, I didn't include the wicks, or whatever reason it is that you got it wrong, you can get immediate feedback instead of having to just do an exercise and then sitting there going, when do I hear from the instructor? I hope it works. So that's really, really exciting. The people we've shown that to, the next part of it have been, holy crap, that massively changes how we're going to teach, and it gives us students feedback straight away if they're getting it correct or not. So everyone who's seen it is really excited about it, and we're really excited about it too. Yay. So yeah, new broker coming in the next 2 weeks or so, and the education stuff will be finished in the next 2 weeks. So we'll roll that out with some courses and stuff pretty soon. All right, so Shiv asks, will you be able to trade indices like the US 30? And yes, you will. And Sandy says ASX index. I'm pretty sure that's on the list. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm going to answer yes to that one as well. All right. Does anyone else have any other questions on this lovely Friday night on the 12th of April? In that case, let's wrap up here. Thank you so much for coming to spend another Friday night with me. I really appreciate that. And if you have any questions at all, please always feel free to get in touch. Support@VemaTrader, and we will absolutely get back to you as soon as we can. All right. Yeah, and just another shout out, if you want help analyzing your data, please get in touch. We'd love to help you out with that one as well. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.